Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio, your home for beauty and unity. Yes, friends, how good and how delightful it is when brothers dwell together in unity. That's been our theme verse this week, and we've seen the psalmist take that and emphasize those two words, delightful or beauty, and unity. So those words have been emphasized, as well as actually one of the words I didn't really cover this week is the word good. Behold how good. And then we had good again in verse 2. It is the good oil. It is like that good oil. Sometimes in your translations you'll have precious oil. The oil that was the best, the one used for the anointing of the high priest. So we have goodness, we have delightfulness or beauty, we have unity, all those things when brothers dwell together. Now, where are they dwelling? We haven't asked that question yet, have we? We've talked about the brethren of a family. We've also talked about the brethren of the church, brethren of faith, brethren who are bound together, members one of another because of a constant confession about or to a certain doctrinal position. We come to the second half of verse 3 today, and we see that the place of this unity is none other than Zion. For there he commanded, the Lord commanded the blessing, life forevermore. The words in the Hebrew we have a very emphatic for there, and then we have this accent that comes right after the there. We have the break between there and command. So the strong break is a pause. So the there we're to think about. Where is that there? Well, it's the antecedent of Zion, which is, where am I here? Verse 3, the end of the first half of verse 3. Upon the hills of Zion, for there. So we're talking about Zion. And of course, that would be where the brethren would dwell, because that's the city of the great king. That's the city of the name. That's the city of the presence. That's the city in the past. It's the city that's going to be in the future, where the church and Israel together will dwell. And of course, Zion for Israel is going to be restored, and they're going to come back, and they're going to meet their Messiah there, and the restoration of the kingdom will happen there. But there's another Jerusalem, a new Jerusalem, that the church will inhabit, and that is also a place of great blessing for there. And then we have this strong verb, he commanded. The Lord commanded. Now, we have this strong verb command, and we know exactly what that's about because we've seen the command of God before. But what's he commanding this time? This time he's commanding blessing, and blessing is really the very center of this second half of verse 3. The blessing. And it is marked by the direct object marker. So the writer, the psalmist here, does not want you to miss the point. The blessing has been commanded by the Lord in the place of blessing. That is life. And that's how we end up the psalm. Life forevermore. Ad olam. Ad ha'olam. So life forever and forever ever. So it's going to be all the time life. He's commanded the blessing, life forever and ever. And I think that's how I translate it. Yeah. Life forever and ever. So this life that he gives, is it just life for the body? No, this is spiritual life. So God commands a blessing where brothers dwell together in unity, and it's life. Your church cannot have life unless it has unity. It can't have unity unless it has beauty. And it can't have either unless the presence of God is there, because you don't have unity, you don't have goodness, you don't have beauty, you don't have life unless there is the presence of the living God. That's how it comes. So we need to check ourselves. We need to ask the question, is the presence of the Lord here? Because without it, none of these things will be active. Join me again next week. We're going to look at Psalm 134, which will be the last step in the Song for Those Ascending on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.